Welcome to Be Better Thursdays, a video every Thursday to inspire you to be the highest version of yourself with strong vida. Be better every day. Hi everyone, welcome to Be Better Thursday. I am again happy to be here like I am every Thursday, sharing with you my processes, what I've learned, and anything that could make us better every day. And so last week we talked about being thankful and appreciative of our partners or whomever we're having a relationship with. It could be business relationship, family, friendship, and how amazing this practice is to boost the immune system of the relationship. I really recommend you to practice it and consider it. So just being actively conscious of acknowledging those loved ones and people we have around us for their service and the love and anything they give us. But not only that, also just validate whatever stage they're going through. It's not only about what they do for us and being thankful about that, which is very important, but it's also about acknowledging and validating and trying to remember and be actively and be proactive about recognizing what stage and what part of their life they are so that they can be seen. Remember that we all want to be seen and loved. So I've been practicing that. Mainly I've tried to cultivate that practice more in my relationships with my friends, my friendships, and business-wise. I've had a business meeting last week, and I've really practiced that, and I feel like I have some sort of come to a good advanced practice in my romantic relationship with that, and it's been amazing the value that I've been able to reap with that practice. So I'm trying to move it into my other relationships of my life. So I did that in a business meeting, I did that with a friend as well, and so it hasn't been too crazy, but I do have it in mind and it's fresh, and I really like the results I've got so far. So I hope you've been practicing that too. For today and for this week, I wanted to share with you 5 things I do when I get angry. And the word angry, it's a little bit sometimes has a connotation of, yelling and being too crazy and expressing a lot of anger. But I think we can all be angry and sad. We can be angry and frustrated. We can be angry and annoyed. And some of those emotions not always are expressed. Sometimes we just keep them inside of us. And so Byron Katie, she usually mentions that sometimes we feel like we're a very positive person, but then there comes this small tiny thing, and she always uses the example of a traffic ticket. When you least expect it, there comes a trigger that all of a sudden makes you really angry, and somehow it really it sort of catches you in a place where you weren't expecting it, and that's why we sort of become unconscious and let our emotions take us in that moment. And so the one thing that I try to recognize as soon as possible is that when I get into that state, the most important thing is to recognize that state, it's something that you want to try to get out as soon as possible. You really don't want to hang in there, even though that's what you're most tempted to do. When I'm angry, you just want to sit there and blame or judge whomever it's triggering that for you. So you want to, make them wrong as much as you can, because that's what anger does to you, and that's what it means to be run by your ego in that moment. So the exercise here and the practice here, and the reason why I do this 5 things, is to as fast as possible take you out of that stage instead of trying to live there for a couple of days, and to quickly recognize that in that moment you're believing in your ego and you're not really being your true loving self. I believe we're truly meant to express love all the time, and I'm not only talking about romantic love, but we are loving beings that are all connected. And the moment that we are run by our egos and what we call unconscious, we are then focusing more on separation, and it feels yucky and it feels bad, and it's a bad emotion because it's not our natural way of being. And so the 5 things I do, the first thing and one of the most important ones is to write. I like writing in this case. Now, before I actually say these 5 things, I want you to remember that these 5 things are not things you're going to feel like doing in that moment. So it's very important that you start the habit, because as you practice it more, you won't really try to make it logic for you. You won't really try to be convinced by your mind that, oh, I should be doing this. And so when I tell you the first thing that could help you a lot is to write, this could also be, if you're not really fond of writing. I wasn't, but I got really used to it, and through the years, I think it led me to it actually helped me in other parts of my life to write in this case, especially because now I have a blog and all that. But the idea here is to express your feelings as much as you can to no one. So as if you're expressing it to maybe that person you're blaming, or maybe that person that you're mad about, or maybe that company that you're mad about, or the collective that you're mad about, but without really giving them that letter or sending them that email or whatever it is. So your best form of expression works best here. Maybe it's talking. So if you're one of those persons that you can talk and talk and talk about it, then use your recorder in your phone and talk and talk and talk about it. If you rather just sit in the computer and type an email, if you just want pen and paper, whatever it is, just let it out. It pretty much should feel as you are vomiting everything you have inside. And this is one of the healthiest ways of doing it. And the healthiest ways of refocusing your mind to come back to what you're feeling instead of what the other person is to be blamed for. The second one is to talk to a friend. And here, it really depends on what friend. It's helpful to be selective on the friend that you're going to talk to. I think at the beginning what happens is we're not really when you start practicing this, and this is what happened to me, I wasn't really that in control. So because when you're angry, you're not really making best decisions ever. So I would just call whatever friend was available. That's the one that was there. That's the one I would just dump everything I needed to say. But through the years, I've learned that you do want to be selective, because you want to find a friend that is not going to go in victimhood with you, that is not going to fix you, and that is not going to express so much their opinion. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying friends shouldn't, but I'm just saying for this particular exercise and this particular moment, it's helpful if the other person is only listening. And not every friend can do that, or not every friend have that ability. Sometimes it's very helpful to just ask and prepare your friend and say listen, what I want to do right now, it's release and pretty much dump everything I have inside of me. So if you wouldn't mind just listening, that would be perfect. And it would also be a good exercise for your friend. So that is the second thing. The third thing would be to distract yourself. And this one, it's not to be confused to get into denial or ignore the situation. What this is just tricking your brain. Our brains get really enchanted with new things and new activities. So it's a very easy way to shift your focus by giving your brain new activities. It's sort of like giving a dog a new toy or a new distraction or food while they're bothering you in another situation. So it's pretty much the same thing. We're training our mind or our ego to say, like a little pet or a little kid, because that's in a way how our ego acts. And so you want to be maybe doing an activity that it's fun for you. This could be like a hobby, some sort of art, sports, anything that you love doing, and that will really make you forget for the moment what's going on. And it's even better if this activity is with new people and new places. So the more you add into that mix newness, the easier is the shift for your brain. And so all we want to do is shift your focus in that moment. We're not saying we're not going to take care of the problem. We're not saying you should forget about it. No, what we're saying is we want to take care of the problem, but we don't want to take care of the problem while we're angry. So this is why this is a really good thing that you can do. Now, the fourth thing is to something I do that I thought would be good to share with you. I go to this blog that I love. It's written by Leo Babauta, and he is, to me, to my eyes, a Zen master. I don't think he believes himself to be that, but he has he's written an article that it's about when you're judging and when you're blaming others about something. It's a very single trap to be there. So he's written about 8 reminders of things that are for sure happening when you're angry. When you're angry, you're judging somebody else, or something else, or a big collective, something that is outside of you. You could also be angry at yourself, and that is naturally too, but these 8 statements also become true in that case. So I'm going to read those statements to you. I've put the link in the blog post, so if you ever want to go there. I keep it handy, and I also have like a printed list in my wallet to remember this. So this is how much this is important for me, and it works for me every time. So when you're angry and blaming somebody, it's because either you are very ignorant of what the person is going through, you don't understand the situation, you have unrealistic expectations of people, you think you are superior to other people, you are not grateful, you are being self-centered, you are not being curious but instead closed off of all learning, and you can't really help the situation from a place of judgment. So these are the 8 statements. Honestly, to me, most of the times 4 of those are happening at once. It's very few times I would just glitch on one that I'm like, yeah, this one's it. But what these statements do, they just take you back to the real perspective of things, and they just give you a good insight of looking at the problem from a different way that you probably wouldn't be open to if a friend told you that, or if the person you're blaming told you that, or if somebody you love told you that, because you will probably get into a defensive mode if somebody else will tell you these things. But if you read them and you make it a practice to do this whenever you feel angry, then it's a different thing, because it's just for you to digest and little by little step outside of your ego process. So that's one thing I do. And then the last thing I do, but this is one of the most important ones, is I have my mantras. And I've had many mantras through the years, and I don't always remember to do this, and I don't always need to do this. But there are times where I felt very advanced into this practice, and I've been able to actually recite these mantras inside my head as I'm arguing or as I am already feeling angry for something. This to me is the ultimate state of awakening. Let me correct that. In a way, it's not possible to be conscious and also angry. The only way for us to be awakened, conscious, and outside of our ego It's when we are just observing the situation, so we can't really be judging. And the only way for us to be angry is to be judging. So we either one or the other. And these mantras are an amazing tool to pretty much grab your hand and take you from the state of judgment to the state of awakening, even if it's just for 1 second and 1 minute, because it's just, you're really stepping into empathy, which is putting yourself in somebody else's shoes, and it's the hardest thing to do when you're angry. So the main mantra I use is, I accept you, I love you. Even now when I disagree with your actions, I'm willing to restore love. And so this mantra has love in 2 places. And I know for some people the word love triggers a lot of other things. In my practice, love is just the universal force, the universal source. So I'm not talking about romantic love again. I'm talking about what connects us all. And so this is a mantra to say it's inside yourself in any situation. This could be your dad, your daughter, your business partner, your boss, your employee. This could be the mailman. It could be anybody. Now, I've had situations where I'm so mad and I'm so frustrated and I'm so angry that just the thought of saying I love you, even inside my head, is completely too way of an extreme. And so for that situation, I usually do a different mantra that is a little bit more neutral, and it says, I honor who you are even now that I disagree with your actions. I'm willing and open to bring mindfulness and stay away from my ego. So that one will bring your energy at least neutral. It's not like I love you, welcome, but it will still help you get outside of madness world in that moment. So I hope this has been helpful for you, and I hope that you practice it. Thank you so much for watching our episode of Be Better Thursdays. If you would like more inspiration plus exclusive invitations and free resources to become better every day, please find the email list link in the description below this video. And if you like this video, please share it with your friends, subscribe to our channel, or just like it. See you soon, and remember to be better every day.